Should you get married or stay as Brahmacharini? Hare Krishna, Mohini Madhavi here. In this video, I'll go through the topic of it's better to get married or to remain as Brahmacharini, non-married. Before telling this, let me tell my background. I was actually thinking becoming a Brahmacharini when I was in the initial years of my Krishna Consciousness. You know why? Because during my first years of Krishna Consciousness, the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra was so blissful. And I was staying in the Brahmacharini ashram in our country back then in Turkmenistan. Our temple used to be in a small place, and we had an ashram underground. So I used to stay in that ashram. It's a very old place, and there was so many different holes for rats to go in and out. But every day we had Gornitai deities in our temple, and I was one of the pujaris there. Life was so blissful. I didn't have any material desires at that time. I actually donated all my good quality clothes to other people and left only with 2 dresses to exchange it. Materially, I used to fast because I didn't have desire to eat. I used to eat once a day and particular item. You cannot imagine, but I was going through so much spiritual things and experiences in my life that material things were not any difficulty for me to give up. And I came to a state where I used to wake up even at 2 o'clock in the morning just so that I can chant my Hare Krishna mantra attentively so that nobody else disturbs me while I am focusing and chanting and feeling that bliss coming out of these names. And then at 4 o'clock we have Mangalarti. I used to complete my rounds before Mangalarti, and then I used to go to Mangalarti and see the deities. Samsaradava nalalidaloka Tranaya karunya ganatva. When this song comes and everybody sings this, I used to feel presence of acharyas and how they're worshipping the Lord. And then each obeisances I paid in the temple used to be so meaningful. And the association with devotees, I used to feel they're so sweet. Even if sometimes we fight, we used to go and fall dandavats on the feet of the other devotee and touch his feet and put in our head. That was our community, such a small, sweet community with lot of spiritual taste. And I was fully satisfied. Eating was not a problem, dresses were not a problem. I just wanted to chant and be with those devotees. And I was not thinking about getting married because I was thinking I'm gonna stay in that devotional environment and I'm gonna live like this for life. Now then, life changed. I moved to different place. I came to India. I did my double studies. I did my masters. And I started coming to Chowpatty temple. That temple also became so sweet. Every Mangalarti used to be so sweet. Chanting was sweet. I was in love so much. And then I started getting distracted. Then I found out that actually it's better to get married, to be protected, to be not exploited by others in the life. Because when I was living alone in India and then doing things alone, I felt that it's so easy for people to exploit if you're in woman's body, and if you don't have so much support from your family, and if they see you are a woman without any support, then you may feel exploited. And also I started feeling lonely. That were the two things I faced when I was staying as a brahmacharini before getting married. And then after I got married, I was out of that spiritual sweet community first of all, and then I was out of my beloved temple chill body, and then I was engaged with all this family affairs of daily cooking. Earlier I used to consider cooking is a waste of time. Instead I can sit and chant. That's why I eat only peanuts. And then I was washing clothes, I was cleaning the house, and then now I have a kid. So then, because of lack of so much spiritual taste, my material desires which were within me started popping up, and then I wanted a new sari, I wanted 40 saris, then I wanted a house, then I wanted a different car, now I wanted Tesla, now I want another house. So I didn't know I have so many seeds inside my heart, and I am so much in nature. I am so much in materialistic in nature. Actually, I didn't know that. Now I understand that actually, in my initial years of Krishna consciousness, it actually was not because of my endeavor. Yes, my endeavor was tiny little bit. It was there, but it was actually Krishna's mercy. He showed me from the beginning. See how much tasty it can be if we practice Krishna consciousness. But then later in life, Krishna said, now I am taking my help little bit, now you have to work little bit. When that taste little bit went away and I was given a field to fight, I understood that I have actually a lot of material desires. So it was a good choice that I got married, and then now we are fulfilling the material desires as per the Vedic culture, as per the Shastras, not against the Shastras. So Krishna doesn't want us to suffer, not eating any food or not doing so much austerities or going naked without clothing. Krishna doesn't want us to suffer. Krishna wants us to live in a peaceful environment, eating healthy food, getting enough sleep, and having good kids, husband, enough money to survive. So Krishna doesn't want his devotees to suffer. So that's why I'm here. Now, what I would suggest to young girls. If you are thinking of not getting married and remaining as brahmacharini for life, then you need to consider these two things. Make sure you always, for life, you're gonna stay in the spiritual environment. Make sure you have enough strength and enough support that you are gonna stay in the spiritual environment for life. If you go out of spiritual environment, then you may immensely suffer with loneliness because nobody's there. Your parents may be there right now, but imagine in few years. And many of us these days are not having so many siblings. So even siblings, even if they are, they will have their own families and kids and they don't have time. So you need to make sure that you have ability to stay in a spiritual community so that you don't feel lonely for life. But if you don't have that, and if you know that things gonna change and you're gonna be out of that spiritual environment, then it's better if you get married on time rather than wasting time on thinking to get married or not. So there is a saying like, if you don't know to eat or not, don't eat. If you don't know to go somewhere or not, then don't go. If you don't know to get married or not, then get married. Because If you have doubt in eating this or not, then better you don't eat because you are not hungry. If you have enough hunger, then you don't have any doubt. You will just eat it. If you don't know to go or not, then there is a doubt that there may be some danger. So better don't go because you will suffer. But if you have doubt to get married or not, it's better you get married because if you don't have chance in the future. You may have chance in the future to get married, but it may be late and you may end up with bad choices and get married out of frustration. So it's better if you get married on time, because when you get married, it is as per the Vedic culture as well. Girls need to be protected. Men, the boy, small boy, even if he is like 7 years old, he can go and travel anywhere in the world, other than some mischievous people taking away his organs. They cannot do much for that small kid. But if the girl goes out in that age, or in any age, she's gonna be troubled a lot. She's gonna be trafficked because people will misuse her. They're gonna enjoy her. They're gonna make her a slave. So that's why our shastras say that women should be always under the protection, because they're like flowers. They're like mothers, and when she's young she will be protected by the protection of father, and when she's in the middle age she will be protected by her husband, and when she's older she'll be protected by her son, or if she doesn't have a son, the husband of her daughter. That's why our shastras say that girls, women should be protected. That's why if you're thinking if you want to get married or not, I would just suggest you just go through these things. Right now you have parents, you may have siblings, but what will happen in few years? But yes, it's better to be unmarried than marrying somebody who is so bad. If you act on time when you are young, in your 20s, and you find a good husband, it's better to get married so that you have protection and you have a lot of kids, so that in the future years you don't feel so much lonely, and you have enough support, enough protection. Now, do I regret getting married? I, for example, don't regret getting married, because I understood that I have a lot of material desires. If I was not married and would continue staying in the spiritual community where I was, and suddenly if I offend a devotee, or we fight and it goes so serious, then it may happen that my material desires start popping up, and then I might do uh, more sinful actions than I would have done when I'm inside the marriage. What marriage can give you is, yes, difficulties in marriage life is non-avoidable, unfortunately. They will come, but you need to believe that whatever difficulty comes, Krishna gives enough strength for you to overcome those difficulties. He won't give you difficulty which you don't have strength to overcome it. If he does it, then that's called death, where we just leave this body. But otherwise, Krishna will give you enough strength. You don't need to worry to fight and to overcome the difficulties. Hare Krishna.